Welcome back to the corporation, the best community, it's Gender Nation. And guys, the video today is absolutely absurd. This is the highest valued company that's ever been on Shark Tank in the history of the entire show. Now, before we break down the highest valued company in the history of Shark Tank, I want to thank all you guys for smashing the like button in the last video. And for that, here's a funny meme. Now let's see what happened with the highest valued company in the history of Shark Tank and if they got a deal or not.
I'm here today to ask for $500,000 for 1%, $500,000 for 1% of my company, Lark.
Majority of companies that come in asking for this can't back it up. So it's gonna be interesting to see how he does this.
Coming from your reusable water bottle? I bet you have. And if you're
I actually have.
people, you do what we call the sniff test.
I don't know if I call it the sniff test.
Ooh-wee. The average reusable water bottle contains
That was the worst acting I've ever seen in my life.
bacteria colony that your dog bowl or toilet seat. No wonder they stink. And it's no wonder it's so tempting to reach for a single-use plastic water bottle. The result? Over 1 million of these guys are consumed every single minute. And that's no good for your health and even worse for the environment. The Lark bottle is the world's first self-cleaning water bottle. With a simple press
Looks
of a
cool
button,
too.
and in just 60 seconds, the Lark bottle activates our patented UVC LED technology to eradicate 99.99% of harmful and odor-causing.
That's kind of sick, I'm not even gonna lie. I didn't know this product existed, but that sounds pretty dope because my water bottles all smell stank around the edge.
Bacteria, viruses, and mold. The result? Pure water from a pristinely clean bottle. So sharks, who's thirsty for a great deal?
Just want to be clear I heard you properly. 500,000 for 1%.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
right, Robert.
Congratulations, highest valuation ever requested in the Shark Tank.
$50 million valuation.
Tell us why it's a
By the way, in all
50
transparency,
million.
I have a couple of these.
Oh, you do? Great.
You
That's
do?
That's awesome.
I do.
That's kind
Well,
of
what's
sick.
the market opportunity
Yes.
that justifies this?
So it's a huge market. Big water is a real thing. It's a $300 billion market worldwide, of which reusable market is only 7%.
Now, a tactic he's doing very well is when people talk about some backed science or patentable technology in some sort of invention, where they slip up is they go too in depth about the science, but he connected everything perfectly with a demonstration. So he didn't talk too much about the background of the science. He said a quick overview of what it was, showed a quick demonstration of how it worked, and he kept going along with it. And he said that it's patented. VCs love to hear stuff that's patented. And I hear they're more interested in, obviously, one of the sharks has a couple of Lark bottles, which is definitely gonna give him some brownie points here. But he's also staying extremely composed, and he knows all of his facts and all the numbers, which is gonna help him tremendously here to see if he gets a deal.
Growing. I tried to swear off of single-use plastic water bottles several years ago. I bought several reusable options, and sure enough, they ended up in the back of the cabinet or in my gym bag. They would collect mold. If it sat in my car, it would get stinky.
So it's the self-cleaning part
It's
that's
self-cleaning
worse.
and purifies. So simply, you press this button, the UV light turns on.
So then how many minutes does it take to do that?
60
We have
seconds.
two modes. Our normal mode is 60 seconds, and then we have an adventure mode, which is 3 minutes. So we launched this product in 2018. So we've been on the market a little under 2 years.
2 years, huh?
Under 2 years. And
Wow.
in our first full year in 2019, we did a little over $5.5 million in sales.
There you go.
In the last 12 months, we've done.
Oh my
9
God, he did $5 million in sales in the first year that the company was launched. And he did
This year,
$9 million the next year.
$14 million.
What you gonna make on the 14 million?
So we brought on our first outside venture capital round earlier this year in January, and we leaned into growing the business. So this year we're expecting to lose about $1 million.
Justin, how much did you raise?
6.7
Wow.
At what valuation?
at a $31.7 million valuation.
So just let's talk real business. You've only raised
Yeah.
6.7. How much do you have in the bank?
I have about 6.5.
Okay, so you really haven't had to spend anything,
for you.
right?
Yeah.
What did these retail
That's
for?
really good for
The
him.
one you have right there is 95.
I
Wow.
paid 95 for this? Yeah, see?
You didn't
It's a-
pay it all.
Holy crap! It's actually not
It
bad.
costs you what to make it?
It is a sick idea though, the fact that he's purifying the water and you can take this to like a third world country and distribute them out. That would solve a ton of problems in third world companies. I know there's one product called a Life Straw too that you can just take it to any kind of water and just drink straight out of it, but having it in a water bottle is pretty sick. So he raised $6.7 million on a $31 million valuation, and he still has $6.5 million in the bank, and he has $14 million in revenue, and he lost $1 million on that revenue. So the fact that he's scaling this fast within not even 2 years of the company is absolutely insane. So maybe that $50 million valuation is justified here.
The landed cost is around 40.
You said you had a lot of patents.
Yeah.
What are those other products you already have?
This is the Lark Pitcher, which is our first foray into the home. Let me do that real quick. And while that's going, I'll show you a video of how that works.
I wonder how
So there's a lot
that's
of
different than
pictures
Brita.
that use a filter. And the biggest problem is that they only trap contaminant, where they could quickly accumulate and multiply and actually reverse contaminate your water.
There's a million people on the planet don't have access to clean water,
Yep.
and 1.5 million don't have access to electricity. So
Yep.
This would solve a
I don't think
huge
any
problem.
of those people are getting this bottle right now because they don't have $95.
1% of all our proceeds go to our charity partner, 1% for the planet, charity water, well aware.
Smart man.
1% of profits?
1% of revenue we pledge.
Revenue.
Yeah.
Gross revenue.
Gross revenue.
Okay.
pledge.
1%.
All right, so-
That is impressive off top line.
I want to just lay out where I am, okay? I think we're at a time when people are really angry.
I don't think I've ever seen Damon make a deal. So if he makes one here, that'd be insane.
They're looking for hope. And when I signed up to this platform, the platform didn't start off as the wealthy. I just could not do this because I just think that I'm here for a different reason. I'll let the other sharks discuss it, but I'm out.
So let me take a shot at it. I support a charity called One Drop, making sure everybody can drink fresh water around the world. It's something I get behind. Love to be involved in this, but I'm not doing it for 1%. I've never done a deal for 1%.
It seems like Mr. Wonderful's breaking character here. Like he has him a little bit wavering. It's kind of crazy because it's usually the other way around. In the other videos, I talk about how Mr. Wonderful always sits like this because it's a psychological power move. And it kind of seems like he's dropped his shoulders a little bit. And he is genuinely interested in making this deal with him.
I'll do it for 4%. I don't care how you structure it, advisory shares, whatever.
You know, to give you $500,000 for 1%, I feel like I'm not making anything.
I'm willing to take offers and listen to
Make an
counsel.
offer.
Make it
Right.
over, Laurie.
I would love to work with you. I would love it.
$500,000 for 5%.
Keep on going backwards, Justin.
Justin, the problem with 1%.
I feel like just from a personal perspective, it kind of probably makes them feel like they aren't as important because I feel like the Sharks feel like they have not just the money, but they have the presence, like the celebrity presence that people buy into. And it's like the Shark Tank effect, like Scrub Daddy, $250 million company now, and nobody's really buying it before it came on Shark Tank. And now it's one of the biggest, if not the biggest company that's ever been on the entire show. So I agree with Mr. Wonderful here that 1%, even though they are a venture capital, they bring more to the table than just the money.
And yes, I would love to own 1% of it.
I wanna see him get a
And I
deal
would
here.
love
This
to
is a
own
dope
1%
product.
of Tesla, but the odds are just so low. I'll do 500,000 for 3%. We can work out the other 2% from your advisory pool. That's my offer.
And Mark, are you anywhere?
Yeah, I know where I'm at. There's different platforms for different reasons, right? This is a place where people come where they just need a little bit more fuel. They need a little bit of help. We're not here to evaluate companies that may be $1 billion in sales over a $1 trillion market in 20 years. This is not the place to do it. So for those reasons, I'm out.
So, you have 3 offers. What do you want to do?
I wonder what he's gonna do here. Before we continue, comment down below what you guys think he's gonna do. And I think that he's gonna end up either meeting them in the middle, going at lower amount of money for a lower equity stake, or he's gonna split it between either 2 or 3 of the Sharks that made the deal here. Because then what he can do is say like he gets $100,000, potentially 1.5% from each of them, or $150,000, 1.5% from each of them. Then he's gonna walk away with less than he wanted, but he's gonna walk away with 3 deals from the Sharks. So I think that might be his best play here.
To be honest with you, that's really my bottom line. What about we got you all in for $500,000 each for $1.5 million total at 4.5%. So for a total, it would be 5.5% for that money.
Okay, here's something we'll do.
It is cool how it kind of seems like they've dropped like the facade, how they just kind of roast every single person after they're done pitching, and they are again genuinely interested in this deal because frankly this is a really cool product. I know it's similar to Brita, but Brita doesn't have the personal water bottles. Lark's taken the filtered water to an entirely new level.
Consider $1.5 million for 6%, and each shark gets 2.
That would be a
3
solid
sharks.
deal.
Huge value for you.
What say you?
I could accept the offer with one condition, that the structure in
I
a
like how he's also just not succumbing to the deal of the Sharks. He's really making sure he's standing his ground. He's unwavering. This guy knows what he's talking about. He's legit, and he broke down every single aspect of one of their questions perfectly. Every single time somebody asked a question, he knew exactly what to say back. He had the numbers to back it up and all the data. I think he's going to walk out of here with a really solid deal.
$1.5 million for 4.5%, and the remaining 1.5% would be advisory shares.
My question is, do I get 2% for my $500,000?
You do.
How long is the vesting period for the advisory share?
24.
For people on the other side of the camera, vesting means, for example, if he made a deal on his advisory share, so he put Mr. O'Leary on his advisory board and he'd vest it over, I think he just said 24 months. So that would mean that he would get 0.5% every 6 months vested in this company. So he would be around for 2 years to get his full 2%, and he could probably do something called a cliff, where in the agreements that they're going to sign, if Mr. Wonderful leaves for some reason, he could either forfeit his percentage of, or his 2% that he gets from Lark, or Justin Wang could do a buyback of his percentage equity that he would get for the advisory board. So he could pay him to take his shares back, but that would be whatever they do in the agreement. But I don't think, knowing somebody who's been in the game as long as Mr. Wonderful, I don't think he would allow for any sort of cliff. I think he would vest it and then say, this is what I'm going to do. But he also is the type of person that would probably want to stay in the deal.
Based on
Okay.
what?
But
Forget
so
the vesting
Yeah, what are
period.
you basing
Like, what do
that
I have
on?
to do to get my advisory share?
I think we just have a conversation about what we could do with the business, how we could build it together.
Oh,
maybe it's
God.
QVC, maybe it's
That's not fair too, because they put it on the spot. Building exactly what you want an advisor to do is tough on the spot. Because for my company, which is linked down below if you guys are interested, check it out. But it's taken a while for me to be able to build out the advisory board, like months, figuring out exactly what I want to have everyone bring to the table. Because everyone comes from a bunch of unique skill sets. Put him on blast here, trying to say exactly what they're going to do off rip is insane.
Let me make it very simple. It's too complicated. You know what? I'm out. I've worked really hard to get to this point. I don't need you to interview me.
I don't want contingencies on it. You know that we're going to be involved. We don't want to see that just evaporate.
I'll do $1 million for 4%.
I'm in.
Advisory would just vest, no contingencies.
So they're getting 1.5% each, and then they're getting a half a percentage vested over 2 years.
I want her part of the.
So the counteroffer to Kevin and Lori is $1 million for 3% stake and 1% advisory shares that vests up front. So
Whatever it takes to get her on board, I want the same. So, are you putting a stake in the sand here on the two?
Yeah, I would go 2%,
Okay, well, that's what we got to do.
but not advisory shares.
What if those shares just vested up front? Because I have to structure something where I'm not going below my last valuation. There's 2% up front.
Done.
Done. All right.
that was incredible. Wow, he deserves that deal. It's just the ability to believe in yourself. There's always going to be people who are out there trying to bring you down, trying to put themselves in a bigger position to make you feel worse. Or
How you gonna knock somebody in the world for actually trying to do something? Trying. Since when has it become not cool to try?
make you feel less than what they are, because a lot of people don't even end up trying. He deserved every single dollar that the Sharks gave him today, and there's a couple reasons why for that. First of all, he was unwavering when they were trying to ask for more equity in his company, which he knew it was a certain valuation and he wasn't going to stand down. He was also able to perfectly answer every single question they asked him with the science and the tech and back everything up with numbers. So he started this in 2018 and now it's 2022, and obviously it's been a long journey, and he brought the company a long way. And if you're comfortable with the journey, then the destination is going to find itself. Showed that he was willing to step out of his comfort zone and become comfortable being uncomfortable. And most people don't even get to this point. And it's not just getting on Shark Tank and selling a multi-billion-dollar company. It's being able to develop your business mindset and grow as an individual and become comfortable being uncomfortable. And two is they let their fear of failure outweigh their desire to succeed. And when people are able to overcome these obstacles in their life, whether it be physical, mental, emotional, anything that's stopping you, you really are able to accomplish anything that you put your mind to. He was a prime example of this today here on Shark Tank. Now here's an article on Forbes talking about how Lark is doing in 2022. This year, the company's pulling in nearly $20 million in sales. So that $500,000 has gone an insane way to over $1 million each if they wanted to get out of their position right now. Well, thank you for coming to the corporation, the best community. It's Gemini Nation, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys for being here and making sure to smash that like button on all the videos and growing the community like crazy, because you guys know we're on the road to 100,000 subscribers.